This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Scott Howell.
Hello, good neighbors, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, brought to you by the Friends and Neighbors Group of Cleveland and the greater Chattanooga area. Again, my name is Scott Howell, and I'm your host today. For you first-time listeners, the purpose of the Good Neighbor Podcast is to bring awareness to the residents of our communities regarding the locally owned and or operated businesses in Cleveland, Chattanooga, Dalton, and of course, all the surrounding areas. Small local businesses are the backbone of our communities, and they need our support. And join me today is our good neighbor, Felicia, with CPRwrap. And we are so glad to have you, Felicia. I'm sorry, I realized a while ago I was pronouncing your name wrong. The way you pronounce it's a lot more beautiful, Felicia. I like that a lot better.
Correct. Thank you. I'll answer to anything, though. Thank you.
Just don't call us late for supper, right?
That's right.
Well, Felicia, we're so glad to have you here. And, you know, before we jump in and talk about the business that I'm so interested to know more about, I'd like to ask you if you'd like to share a little bit about yourself and your family.
Right. So I'm a mother, first and foremost, of three amazing adult children and two beautiful grandsons. So they're my life right now.
And I remember when I talked to you one time before, you said you were very happily married. I remember the way you put that. I could tell you meant it when you said it.
I did leave that out, didn't I? Yes, I am very, very happily married.
For those out there listening, we have a little glitch in our program today, so we're re-recording the first part of this again. So bear with us while we stumble through it. So Felicia, I know a little bit about CPRwrap. You know, your friend that nominated you told me a little bit about your story, about how it came to be, and I know there's a journey there. And I know you're experiencing some problems in getting the word out to the public. So could you just kind of address those things and talk to us about it?
I will. But first, let me let you know what CPRwrap is.
Yes.
Yes, CPRwrap is a product that I invented for the non-medical community. And so what it does, it empowers, protects, and guides any non-medical person to initiate quick and effective CPR before help comes. And so what it does, it comes in a very small package. You can fit it in the palm of your hand. It has instructions on the outside of the packet as well, because people can't forget to call 911. So when you open up that packet, you will get a disposable template, and that template has a one-way valve mouth barrier if you choose to do rescue breathing. It has visual hand placements that helps you align the product to the actual victim, with instructions printed right on top of the template in Spanish and English. We also can print them in any language, and we are doing that right now with other countries that we're working with.
That's great.
This is a global product. Even though it was made in Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's meant for everyone. We have them in adult, child, and even newborn babies, which I'm so excited about.
Yes, absolutely. And those of y'all who can't see it, it has when she said it has a what do you call the piece that goes in the mouth? Just I'm gonna call it the right word.
The one-way valve mouth barrier.
One-way valve. So it goes down into their mouth. And so that way, if you're a little afraid to do the skin contact issue, that goes into their mouth, and you're putting your mouth up against the plastic and the piece itself. So it's a protective barrier, not only for them, but for you. As well. I love it because it has step-by-step instructions on it. It's actually marked number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. I mean, that's easy enough. Even I could do it, Felicia.
Exactly. It's so easy a child could do it.
I believe that. I'm just looking at it, and it's so simple to what you see. It's not hard. It's not a electronic contraption or anything like that. It's just it's telling you where to put your hands on the chest, telling you what to do. It's all spelled out. So I love it. I love it. So tell us a little about the journey, and I know you have a story how this all came about.
Right. So my past profession was I worked as before I became a physical therapist assistant, I worked in the emergency room, and during that time we were CPR certified every year.
Right.
But this particular day, I was on an outing with my family. My two girls and my son. And they were 2. My baby was 2 years old, and my girls were 7 and 9 at the time. And we're driving around town, and they call me the helicopter mom because I'm constantly checking on my children. But this particular time, I looked back and I saw that my baby was trying to cry, but nothing was coming out. I immediately knew that he was choking. So I screamed to my husband to pull over to the side of the road.
Yeah.
I was panicking. Get to the side of the road. It was tons of traffic. We could not get to the side of the road. No one would let us over.
Oh,
So
wow.
we finally got to the side of the road. We both hop out of the car. My husband runs over, gets our baby out of the car seat, and hands him to me because I worked in a hospital. I knew what to do.
Yeah.
Did not happen like that.
Oh,
when
wow.
he gave me my baby, I saw his eyes rolling back. He was turning blue. And I panicked. I didn't even do the back blows to dislodge it. And when he was slipping into unconsciousness, you're supposed to immediately go to CPR because you have 2 minutes to initiate CPR, 4 minutes before brain death starts to occur. Every training, everything that I've ever learned went out the window. My husband saw that I was panicking and wasn't doing anything. And he runs over and he saves our son that day.
Yeah.
I was so upset with myself. And that's where CPRwrap came into place.
Yeah. Hey, well, that's mama feelings kicked in. I mean, come on, you don't be too hard on yourself. But yeah, that product there. What I like about it is if somebody hasn't had the chance to go through the training, they can still initiate some, that life-saving method that, at least till the ambulance gets there, keep their heart pumping, keep things going. So like you said, 4 minutes until brain death begins to set in. I mean, how quick does 4 minutes go by? I mean, goodness, it's almost May. How many minutes have went by? I will say how fast this year is flying by. 4 minutes.
Yeah, and it takes the ambulance 7 to 15 minutes to get to you. Imagine that.
Yeah. So thank goodness that God put the product in your mind to put together for us all. So yeah, and you mentioned before about maybe having some challenges sometimes of getting the awareness out there and to people. I want to encourage us all to be a little bit more open-minded and take a look at this thing. But you share that with us a little bit, Felicia. You're trying to get it in the schools and things like that.
Yes. I used to think if you build it, they will come. But that does not apply to everything. You have to know, people have to know the product exists. And I say we are a reactive community of people instead of proactive.
Yeah.
We feel like if it's not broke, we're not going to fix it. But statistics show that 350,000 out of hospital sudden cardiac arrests occur in the U.S. every year. That's just in the U.S. alone.
Wow.
90% of those people will not make it.
Wow.
So those statistics are telling us something new has to come. And we have that. We have the solution. But in living in a small town, living in Chattanooga, Tennessee, I feel like I should be able to step out on my porch and scream to the world, CPRwrap is here. But the majority of people here in the surrounding areas don't know we exist.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Well, the good news is about you going global is you'll have people all over the world singing Chattanooga Choo Choo, you know it?
Yes, I'm ready for that.
Oh, all right.
Yes. So